That was a knockdown, without a doubt. You can't spin it no other way. It's too clear. And I think the commission needs to do something about it because it can give me an incentive, anytime I'm not feeling good in a fight, take a knee.
Baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown.
I'm not going to say honest because I don't know if honesty had something to do with it. I don't know. But definitely we need better refs that assure themselves, know how to make a decision, know they're making the right decision.
New leaked footage has reportedly proven that Gervonta Davis cheated against Lamont Roach. On March 1st, at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, Davis defended his WBA lightweight title against Roach in a fight that had the boxing world buzzing. In the 9th round, Davis suddenly took a knee after a light jab touched his face, which should have been ruled a knockdown with a full count under boxing rules. However, the referee let the fight continue, keeping the scores close and leading to a majority draw.
Did Gervonta Davis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point and in the end lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, if it was a draw, he take a knee. And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face, that's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my business.
In the days after the fight, questions have continued about the referee's decision and Davis's actions in that crucial moment. Now, new leaked footage is adding to the controversy, suggesting that Davis may have intentionally manipulated the fight to gain an unfair advantage.
And that's not a shot at Tank. I respect Tank and I like Tank a lot, but you can't do that.
They reversed the result of your fight.
Yeah.
Should they reverse the result of that fight as well?
Just depends. Like if that changes the whole fight, if that gives Roach a victory, give him the victory. That's how you keep the integrity of the sport, right? That's why they suspended me, right, to keep the integrity of the sport. So I feel like if you're going to do it to me, you got to do it to everybody.
Newly surfaced footage, allegedly from a source within the broadcast team, shows the key moments of the controversial 9th round from a new angle. Observers have noticed strange details in Davis's actions. The footage shows him pausing right after the jab, almost like he had planned the move instead of reacting naturally. His body language and the way he dropped to one knee look rehearsed. In the same clip, a member of Davis's corner is seen moving unusually close, as if ready to step in. While cornermen usually help wipe sweat or adjust gloves between rounds, the timing and closeness in this case have raised questions. Some analysts believe Davis's quick drop to one knee and his retreat toward his corner were tactics to disrupt Roach's momentum, rather than a genuine reaction to being hurt. Fans and experts now suspect what seemed like an accident, possibly caused by sweat or grease, might have been a planned move to gain an advantage. In response to the growing controversy, Davis and his team have strongly denied the accusations. On social media and in interviews, Davis insisted that his actions followed the rules, explaining that he dropped to one knee because grease from his freshly done hair blurred his vision. However, many fans remain skeptical. His team also argued that leaked footage, when taken out of context, can be misleading, and that a few seconds of video do not tell the full story. Adding to the debate, referee Steve Willis has faced criticism for not counting the knee as a knockdown. While Davis's team defends Willis, saying he made a judgment call in a difficult moment, critics believe that the referee's decision, combined with Davis's unusual movements, suggests a deeper level of unfair play.
Knowing how to make a decision, know they're making the right decision, emboldened to make that decision. I think that I don't know that he would have let Roach get away with that. He let Tank Davis get away with. Why? Tank Davis is a star. I think he set a record for the most fans ever in Barclays Stadium. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I believe they hit a new attendance and maybe a gate record. They've done concerts there, they've done fights there, basketball games there.
I think you're right. It was the record for the gate for a fight for sure. I think the Rolling Stones might be the only one that beat them at the Barclays. But either way, they did huge numbers.
The lack of an immediate official review, made worse by technical issues with the instant replay system during the fight, has only increased suspicions. If the leaked footage proves that Davis cheated, the consequences could be serious. His nearly perfect record could be stained, and he might face penalties from boxing authorities. There are already talks about whether the WBA or the New York State Athletic Commission might reopen an investigation into the fight. Beyond Davis's career, this incident raises concerns about professional boxing, a sport where quick decisions, unclear calls, and possible misconduct often lead to controversy. If regulators find proof of rule breaking, it could lead to demands for stricter oversight and better review systems to protect the sport's integrity.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the reality is can the state call for an immediate rematch? I don't believe they can, the commission. It's really up to the governing body. I mean, the commission can overturn a decision or rule on a decision, but can they order a rematch? That really has to come from the governing body, the WBA, to say, if you want to remain lightweight world champion. But everything I'm hearing is the rematch is going to happen anyway. Like, I think it's pretty much done.
Talk to us about the star power in this May 2nd card.
Yeah, I mean, you've got three of the hottest young fighters in terms of that, that social media presence.
This controversy has sparked a debate among fans and experts about the need for more transparency in boxing. Leaked footage, even if taken out of context, highlights flaws in the current review system. Boxing commissions may have to use new technology and rules to ensure that every controversial moment gets a fair and immediate review. Some fans are already demanding that governing bodies release the full fight footage and explain the referees' decisions. While the leaked footage has added to the controversy, it's important to remember that allegations alone are not proof. The video raises serious questions, but it only shows part of what happened that night.
I've heard some people saying, that he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation for me. Like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call to take him back to the mindset of maybe where he was.
Boxing is a sport full of strategy, where the line between smart tactics and unfair play is sometimes unclear. As the investigation continues, fans and officials will be looking for solid proof to confirm or dismiss the claims against Davis. For now, the debate remains heated. Some accuse Davis of taking advantage of a loophole in the rules, while his team strongly denies any wrongdoing. No matter the outcome, this incident has left a lasting mark on his career, showing how even a few seconds in the ring can have huge consequences. The judges' close scores of 114 to 114 and 115 to 113 reflected a hard-fought battle, as Gervonta Davis defended his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach. However, one moment in the 9th round stole the spotlight and sparked controversy. Roach attacked aggressively, landing a 1-2 combination followed by a sharp right hook. Davis briefly paused, looked at referee Steve Willis, and then took a knee. Instead of a standard knockdown ruling, Davis quickly ran toward the ropes, seemingly looking for a towel to wipe his face. This unusual reaction left fans and analysts questioning what had really happened in that crucial moment.
He's a star. He brings people. He's got a big fan base. He brings good pay-per-view numbers. I don't know what the numbers are in this, but, he's one of the guys that bring good pay-per-view numbers. I think all of that, he brings that with him. When a referee allows him to take a knee, which is not a rule in boxing, and get away with it, and not make it a 10-8 round. That should have been a 10-8 round. He got hit with a jab just before that. I'm not trying to go after Tank Davis. People already know. Some people say I defend him too much, that I'm saying how great he is. And he is. He's a tremendous, complete fighter, puncher, fighter, inside, outside. He's patient. He's responsible defensively.
That alone warrants a call in boxing once a round begins. There are no timeouts, no breaks to regroup. Yet Davis not only took a knee, but also triggered an unofficial timeout, out 2 clear violations that should have led to either a disqualification or a knockout ruling. And if you're wondering whether Willis counted, he did. But as he reached 3 instead of ending the fight, he inexplicably allowed Davis to rise and carry on as if nothing had happened. The fight ended with 1 judge giving a lead to Davis, while 2 concluded a draw, although Gervonta just moved on by explaining the grease. When you sweat, it was coming into my face, and that hopefully we can run it back in New York. Let me repeat, I stand by what expressed last Sunday in Ring magazine based on my 30 years plus experience. Taking a knee without a punch shall be Rule A knockdown. It affected the result of the fight since the referee didn't rule it. A knockdown. Lamont Roach Jr. missed his chance to secure a unanimous decision. Victory by a slim margin that was precisely what had been gnawing at the WBA super featherweight champion. Despite sending his opponent crashing to the canvas, the ruling didn't go his way at 29, he simply couldn't accept the decision, as fair unwilling to let it slide. He and his team have enlisted their attorney to formally request an investigation by the NYSAC, and rightfully so. The fight for justice has begun. Lamont Roach Jr. meantime has criticized Davis and denounced the knee incident. I'm happy with my performance. For sure, I'm just a little frustrated with the scorecards. I thought I should have won, and I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds. Roach Jr. told Boxing News. And even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. So I don't think there is any excuse for me not to win, but that's just how to cookie a crumble. He added, Roach later noted, when I saw the refs start counting, I was like, continue. Why'd you stop? You know, he went on to describe what exactly happened during the incident. He said there was an exchange where he threw a left hand. You know, he hit me a little bit. I rolled it, came back with a right hand, and I hit him, landed a jab, and he took a knee. So even if he had to wipe his eye, whatever the case may be. That's a rookie mistake. Don't do that. That's a knockdown. The same problem appears to have sparked a back and forth between Lamont Roach Jr. and Gervonta Davis. On social media, Gervonta Davis took to X to express his thoughts on the contentious draw as the internet was in a frenzy about the unpunished knee incident. They took the fight from me and made it a draw because I did. That knee, Davis wrote in a now-deleted tweet. He added, but I landed the most punches in the fight. He didn't even hit me with a punch when I took the knee. Gervonta Davis is notable for his low punch volume, delivering among the fewest punches per round of any fighter. In fact, his output ranks second lowest, with only Guile Zhang throwing fewer regardless. He continued, I get it though. I shouldn't have done that, but that hair grease was burning my eyes. Davis made a serious error for which he was community noted. A community note on the tweet read, misleading comp box had Davis landing fewer punches round by round. Roach reacted to this, noting, the community note is crazy that smooth. No matter how hard he tries, Gervonta Davis just can't seem to outrun the controversy surrounding the knee incident, and judging by the ongoing buzz, it's far from fading into the background. Gervonta Davis had just dispatched Frank Martin in 2024, standing at top the division with an air of invincibility, unchallenged and unwavering. He carried himself like the undisputed king, certain that no one could rival his speed skill or knockout power. But that certainty crumbled when WBA super featherweight champion Lamont Roach Jr. made his presence known in the ring earlier this month. Roach stepped into the ring as a heavy underdog, with most riding off his chance before the first punch was thrown. But from the opening bell, he defied expectations, pushing Davis harder than anyone had before. Round after round, Roach Jr. stood toe-to-toe with the unbeaten Baltimore fighter, landing punishing shots and shaking him on multiple occasions. When the final bell rang, the judges ruled it a majority draw. Yet many believed Roach had done more than enough to secure the victory.
Defensively, he's got fast hands, he puts punches together, he goes to the body and head. He's all of that. He can counter punch, he can set traps, all of that. But he was wrong here. He got away with it. But the sport let him get away with it. There's nothing wrong with the fighters.
Fueling the controversy was a pivotal moment in the 9th round referee. Steve Willis's oversight of Davis's knee touching the canvas, a missed call that might have handed Roach a unanimous decision win. Now more than a week later, a fresh contender has entered the conversation as speculation around a Davis-Roach rematch lingers. Lightweight prospect Raymond Murrell's father, Gabriel Muratla Sr., has offered his take on why Davis fell short against Roach. Junior Muratalla was asked about his son's chances of defeating the Reaper during an interview with Ellery ES News. We will Lamont Roach, declared Muratalla Sr. with all the assurance in the world. He clarified that Roach Jr. Out-effectiveness versus Davis stemmed from their prior combat experience as amateurs. Notably, in the amateur circuit, Davis had already triumphed twice over Roach Jr. Regardless, Muratalla also revealed why Davis could not beat Roach Jr. Tank was respecting him a little too much. We are not going to respect him. We are going to pressure him. We will make that fight. In the meantime, the NYSAC has finally made public its ruling about the knee incident. The New York State Athletic Commission has reaffirmed the contentious majority draw between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr., even while acknowledging that referee Steve Willis ER, by failing to call a knockdown in round 9, the commission ruled that the bout continued for more than 3 full rounds after the referee's no knockdown call, and that overturning the result is not viewed by the commission as guaranteeing a correct outcome. Gregory M. Smith, Roach's lawyer, expressed regret but maintained his confidence. Lamont is confident that a rematch will end with a victory, but until then, he is the people's champion at 135 pounds. Davis defended his actions, claiming the knee wasn't from a punch, but because grease from a hair treatment burned my eyes. Unless there is a rematch, Roach would have to accept a draw, given the commission's final decision. Roach's team was outraged that Willis interrupted his 8 count to signal a knockdown and oversight that likely cost Roach a 10-8 round across all 3 scorecards. They also criticized Willis for not penalizing Davis when he turned his back on the action, a move that could warrant disqualification, and for allowing Davis to receive attention from his trainer mid-fight in a stunning change of events. 2 judges gave Davis the 10-9 victory in the 9th, allowing America's most popular fighter to maintain the draw. It's a disappointment, but we had to protest, said Pro Box TV founder Gary Jonas, whose company backs Roach. He added, "We can only control what we can control. Once we get Lamont back in the ring with Davis, we'll have the chance to get it right in the ring." Roach, who is 251, 210 Coos, told Boxing Scene on Thursday that he was optimistic the New York Commission would give him the win because it took a long time to look at the case. Ultimately, the commission acknowledged to a Roach attorney on Friday that Willis had erred and that Roach deserved credit for the knockdown. However, it stood by its decision, refusing to alter the final outcome. Roach remains optimistic about securing a rematch, with Davis bolstered not only by his own conviction, but also by the overwhelming public support for his performance and the injustice he faced. Adding to the controversy, the commission's official review never received the video footage of the knockdown in time for a potential reversal. Jonas said an unofficial win is almost as good as a win. The response and support for this young man. Roach has given his career a major leap. This was certainly a bittersweet outcome, but it's far more sweet than bitter. All Lamont can do now is control how he does in the ring next time. As a 161 betting underdog, Roach unexpectedly delivered the stronger blows to Davis twice, seriously upending him. Despite this, Roach never seemed to be fazed by Davis's renowned strength, regardless of who the aside is. Jonas expressed his hope that the New York Com will use this occurrence as a chance to treat both combatants fairly going forward. Lamont won the fight in the eyes of the public and will take that. Jonas said the NYSAC's decision affirmed that referee Steve Willis ed in the 9th round by not ruling a knockdown when Davis dropped to one knee after taking a hit from Roach. But in the end, as boxing promoter Eddie Hearn had foreseen before the formal announcement, the commission chose not to reverse the outcome, given that the bout went on with 3 more rounds and that both competitors adapted to the initial decision. The NYSAC stated that a different decision would have resulted in a misplaced conjecture in an attempt to get the victory or have Davis disqualified for the incident. Roach and his crew had submitted an official protest. If the knockdown had been acknowledged, Roach would have secured a decision, victory crowning him a 2-division world champion. However, title
The sport that there's a lot wrong with, and there is, and you see it, and we shouldn't keep seeing it. It's got to be stopped. A referee, that is not in the rule book. You get hit with a jab. I know there was a second or 2 in between. Sometimes you see a delay, knockdown, whatever. The punch didn't hurt him. I understand that. But he got hit a jab, and then a second, 2 seconds later, he takes a knee. Guess what? I'm sorry. That constitutes a knockdown. Your knee goes down after a punch somewhere around there. That's a knockdown.
A few days ago, Unbiased Box 2 took to X to share an intriguing post and interview featuring WBA super featherweight champion Lamont Roach Jr. on Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson. The conversation turned to the hotly debated draw with Gervonta Davis. Prompting a key question, did the referee's miscall in round 9 influence Roach's approach in the later rounds? Without hesitation, Roach delivered a firm response. Emma say no, but why he explained that Gervonta Davis dropping to one knee wasn't a sign of defeat. It was a moment that fueled his confidence to Roach. It was proof that his strategy was taking effect, that Davis was feeling the pressure and beginning to falter. The simple fact that he took a knee as it was really a boost because what we're doing is working the Washington native revealed the key. He had an advantage there because the two had already collided twice during their amateur careers after delivering a crisp 3-punch combination, one of which landed flush on Gervonta Davis's eye. Lamont Roach Jr. knew he had just changed the fight's momentum without hesitation. He turned to the referee demanding, "Keep counting, he's tripping." That's a knockdown, as the undefeated Davis dropped to a knee. Roach fully expected referee Steve Willis to enforce the standard 10 count. Willis began reaching 3, but then inexplicably, he stopped choosing not to call it a knockdown. That controversial decision proved to be the defining moment that ultimately led to the fight's disputed draw. Because if y'all didn't notice, he started to count, and then he stopped. So when he resumed the action, I am like, "What are you doing? Keep counting," the 29-year-old frustratedly stated to make matters even more controversial. One of the Baltimore natives' coaches, Calvin Ford, brazenly stepped onto the ring mid-round to wipe his fighter's face, an undeniable rule violation that could have resulted in Tank's disqualification for a seasoned referee like Willis. Such oversights in a high-stakes championship fight were nothing short of baffling. It's no surprise that Roach and his team are outraged viewing this as a blatant officiating misstep, but Roach isn't alone in calling for change. Ryan Garcia and Terrence Crawford share his frustration in a tweet posted on Sunday. Ryan Garcia wrote, "What I'm wondering is if the commission only makes changes when you complain and cry like Haney, or they actually care about the integrity of the sport, nothing against Tank. But since the commission switches my victory, they should switch this victory for Roach. They won't though. BC, they were out to get me from the beginning." Then there was Terrence Crawford who wrote on X, "Roach won, and that should have been called a knockdown. Let's see what happens." Just a few minutes later, the boxer posted another tweet which read, "I never seen someone take a knee, and they don't count it as a knockdown. Must have forgotten the rules for tonight." Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez publicly threw his support behind the Baltimore native, not just for the Lamont Roach fight, but for another high-stakes clash as well at the Fatal Fury press conference in New York. Fight Hype seized the opportunity to grab a quick word with Teofimo Lopez. During their exchange, the reporter pressed him for his thoughts on how a potential clash between Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson might unfold without missing a beat. He stated, "I still think Gervonta will win against Shakur technically. I just think like that he believes in the Baltimore natives in ring skills and power." The 21st one boxer who was standing by Tank stressed that Tank needed this loss to Lamont Roach Jr. He said that Davis had been sitting on his laurels when he said all of this was needed for Gervonta. But Lopez says Tank will be more cautious moving forward, following this hit. So who did he think won on March 1st? The 27-year-old responded to be honest. "I'll say Tank for the name, so what about the knee controversy?" "It doesn't really matter, guys. It's boxing business," he continued. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and stay informed. Stay tuned for more updates, and let's keep our news accurate.